Hi everyone, welcome to another video where we're looking at finding the intervals of increasing or decreasing with a polynomial function. So the previous video just ended abruptly if you are going in order because the computer froze. So I'm just going to pick up, so notice it's blank, I'm just picking up where we left off. Alright, well, whatever the function is, it really doesn't matter. If they want us to find the critical numbers and find the intervals where it's increasing and decreasing, it's always this four-step process no matter what. Okay, so to do it, let's break it down. So I want to find the derivative. So step one is let's get the derivative. So g prime of x is, well, the 3 would multiply the 4/3 to leave 4, and we'd have x squared plus 2 times 7 would be 14x, and then minus 8. And then it's usually best to factor. So notice 2's in common. So we'll have 2 times, oops, I meant to write another 2 there. 2 times 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. And then double check with FOIL, or distribute. Yep, it's the same thing up here. Okay, and then we have more factoring because it is a quadratic in there. It looks like it will factor. And so I'm going to use my guess and check method where I see 2x squared means I have to use 2x and x. I see this is minus, so I know I should have a minus and a plus or a plus and a minus. And then I'm just thinking, well, what times what is negative 4? Well, let's try this. I think it's going to be a positive 4 over here and a minus 1 right here. And that's my guess, so I need to check. Well, 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times positive 4 is positive 8x, but minus 1x is positive 7x, and then negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. So it does work. Okay, and then now I'm going to cloud that up. So we use this in multiple parts. We use it immediately where we set our derivative equal to 0. So this is our second large step. So we can get our critical numbers. And now that it's set equal to 0, well, we can always divide a constant out. So remember, it's okay to divide a constant. 0 divided by a constant's okay, but never do 0 divided by a variable. Okay, so now that it's divided out, though, I can set each of these binomials equal to 0 because of our 0 product rule. And then now that I have each of them set equal to 0, I can solve each of them, add 1 to the first one, and then we'll divide by 2. So we've got 1/2. And then this one, I could just subtract 4. So let's just put that right next to it. So x equals negative 4. Okay, so these are the critical numbers. So it's whatever your x values are once you set it equal to 0. So those are the critical numbers. And then with the critical numbers, we go to our number line. And give yourself plenty of room on this. On the previous one, I was a little tight. Give yourself plenty of space. And then make sure they're organized. So negative 4 would be left. And then 1/2 is somewhere to the right. And then the scale doesn't matter. Notice I'm not putting any other number on it. Just those. All right, and then now that I have those, I usually set this up as my x. Those are my x's. And then I want my f prime information, and I want my f information right above that. All right, and sometimes it might help just to do like a dotted line just to show, hey, these are where I'm going to kind of put my work, and this is where the intervals are separate. All right, so that dotted line is kind of optional, but it might be useful. All right, and so now that I have my number line set up, you want to test a value in these 3 different intervals to see if f prime is going to be positive or negative. Okay, so and you can start wherever you want. I'm going to start in the middle because I know 0 is in between negative 4 and 1/2. So I'm going to plug that into my derivative function here. And when I do, it looks like I get, okay, so I'm going to have to stack it a little bit. So g prime of 0 is equal to 2. Times, well, plug 0 into that is 0, so I would be left with negative 1. And then 0 into that x would leave me with a 4. Okay, so I'm back to using this guy for the test. And then I don't really care about the actual number. All I care about is the sign. If you want the actual number, that's fine. The main thing is to know that it's negative, though. So negative or positive is what's important. And then you usually just put the symbol there. And then once we have that symbol, well, we can go to f and say, well, if f prime is negative, then f is decreasing. And we usually, again, just kind of show an arrow. You could write the word out if you prefer, but that's that. And then just keep going with it. Do the other two. Okay, so anything bigger than 1/2. So for instance, maybe just plug 1 in. Okay, so if I do g prime of 1, okay, and I'm back to my clouded expression here. G prime of 1 is 2 times 2 minus 1 is 1. So I'm plugging it in and working on it at the same time. And then 1 plus 4 is 5. And I can see, oh, 3 positive numbers would multiply to be positive. And so that means I would do a little plus sign right there. And then because that's positive, I know f is increasing. Okay, and then one more time, g prime of anything less than -4. So I'm going to do g prime of -10. Okay, I'm choosing just whatever I think's easy. So I try to use zeros or ones or tens to help me. Again, you could choose any number you want as long as it's left of -4. So you could do -5, -6, whatever. All right, but if I do plug it into my start equation here, the clouded one, g prime of -10 is 2 times, well, -10 times 2 is -20, minus 1 would be -21. And then -10 plus 4 is -6. And you could use a calculator to do these or do scratch work if needed. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I am just subbing those out and simplifying as I go to get these values. And then now that I have these, okay, so my g prime of 10 is this expression. But again, all I really care about is the sign. 2 times a negative times a negative would be a positive number eventually. And so because it's positive, I know this is a little plus symbol, and then I would know that f is increasing. Okay, so that's our graph, or that's our information for the increasing, decreasing, and then now we have our final answer where we use this number line to answer everything in it. Okay, so we did it with our number 3 and number 4 was all done right here. So number 3, and this was kind of our number 4. And then now we have our answer. So anything that's going upward for f is increasing. So we have the increasing. Looks like it'd be from -infinity to -4. And then from 1/2 to infinity. Okay, so that's where it increases. And then decreases is in that middle interval. Looks like it's just from -4 to 1/2. Okay, so we have our critical numbers. We have where it increases, decreases. We've got it all. All right, and we could use our calculator to check. I'm going to skip that this time. We did in the last video. If you want to plug it in, it will verify. It's all good. Okay, so that's it. If you do have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.